As 1960 ended, the battle-weary Japanese looked for someone to heal the wounds of the nation. The man who emerged was not a man of business or a man of politics. He came from the most critical division of Japan Inc., the economic bureaucracy. His name was Hayato Ikeda.
He was a bureaucrat rather than a politician. He came out of the finance ministry. He dealt with practical problems and practical solutions. No wonder when he came to France that de Gaulle, after meeting him, was so unimpressed and said, "Who was that transistor salesman?" Well, de Gaulle didn't realize it, but that's exactly what Ikeda was. He came to sell transistors. He came to preside over the transformation of the Japanese economy.
Ikeda set a simple goal for everyone: double your income. It was a catchy phrase that became a kind of sunny national anthem. They called it Akarui Sekatsu, a bright new life. As Japanese industry churned out new products and kept people working, consumers bought their way to a new prosperity. There were three items every family had to have, the three treasures: a refrigerator, a washing machine, and a TV set. As Japan grew, many Americans assumed that the Japanese economy was dancing to an American beat.
Viewed from the outside, Japan looked like an imitation of the U.S. But in point of fact, Japan was evolving toward a very, very different economic and political pattern. The name of the game was capitalism, but Japan and the United States were playing by a very, very different set of rules.
No one knows the rules of the game better than Takeshi Isayama. For decades, men like Isayama have guided the Japanese economy on behalf of MITI, the Ministry of International Trade and Industry. At this corporate baseball tournament, Isayama is the guest of honor, a sign of a special reverence for government bureaucrats not found in America. In the United States, the government is like an umpire, making sure business plays by the rules. But in Japan, the government is on the field, coaching industry. Big business and government are on the same team.
People in Japan expect certain things of the Japanese government, of the central bureaucracy. Actually, there's quite a high expectation that they will be defending the national interest. And I think in the post-war period, that has been defined primarily as promoting Japan's economic development.
Like most Japanese bureaucrats, Isayama's crowded bullpen office does not reflect the prestige of his position. He heads the division of MITI that oversees the global development of Japan's latest high technology. Day after day, Isayama hears about the problems facing Japanese corporations. Then he writes the laws that govern industry. Isayama also offers special incentives to help companies develop new technology.
適切なガイダンスを与えられるだけのその知的なそのセンスっていうのを我々が持つかどうかなんですね。
MITI's job is to guide the development of Japan's future.
こういう方向に進まなきゃいけないんじゃないかっていうことを企業がいくらその業
If
界
a certain segment of industry wants to go one way and another wants to go another way, the conflict will be destructive.
いややっぱりこの人の言う方が正しいんじゃないでしょうかと。
It is MITI's job to mediate and choose the best road for all.
少し変えていくということは通産省との役割として。
Today, the businessmen who come to see Isayama are wealthy and powerful. He must use the gentle art of persuasion to advance MITI's goals. But 30 years ago, MITI was the commander-in-chief of the Japanese economy. It gave the orders and companies obeyed.
Japan was a developing nation, and in order to catch up to the other nations economically, it was necessary for some degree of protection, financial support, and regulations. These were the primary responsibilities of MITI.
MITI funneled Japan's scarce resources to key industries. In 1957, MITI decided Japan's future depended on electronics.
Radio. ラジオは誠に近代文化の成果とも言うべきでしょう。
MITI favored Japan's big pre-war companies like Toshiba, Hitachi, and Matsushita. Little companies had a harder time. In the 1950s, Akio Morita helped to found a small tape recorder company that would become Sony. He wanted to buy a new American invention called the transistor, but he needed permission from MITI.
When we applied MITI, our government did not think Sony has a appropriate engineering power. So they delayed their approval. So it took more than 6 months to get the final approval to send the money.
When MITI gave permission, Sony bought the transistor license for $25,000. A year later, Sony produced the first transistor radios made in Japan.
Sing, 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 everybody start to sing. La-di-da, hooty-hoo, now you're singing with us when. Sing, 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 sing.
Through private initiative and government guidance, the Japanese electronics industry grew at a furious pace.
The music all around.